Hello, you guys. Welcome back to Channel Clay. I hope you're doing well wherever you are in this crazy, crazy world. So, the news of the day, Karen Huger has been released from jail. Wow. I don't think it's been quite a year yet. I feel like she went in around this time last year. But Karen was released today and she was on the news. We caught her waving to the cameras in her black truck as she was departing. It looks like she was indeed given a wig and a scarf to put over so that she could get right back to her Grand Dame style, and I can only imagine the feeling of being released from jail and being able to go home and see your family, your loved ones, Ray, of course, and just touch and hug them and talk to them and get an actual hot shower with some privacy by yourself with your own products and being able to shave and just, wash your hair. The feeling of that, it has to be a certain type of bliss. But then again, I'm also trying to also think of how she felt while she was in jail, because we didn't see any pictures released of Karen while she was away. Like, we saw pictures of Teresa while she was away. Even Jen Shaw, I've been seeing pictures of her as she's been locked up, but I saw no pictures of Karen whatsoever. So I'm really looking forward to seeing if she's going to speak about how her time was, if she's going to sell her story maybe to like a People magazine, a US Weekly. I want to know how this time was, and I'm understanding the transition period from jail to going back into regular life and being a regular civilian and having freedom. There is a transition period. She wasn't away that long, but still, it's long enough to be locked up anywhere. So I'm really hoping that Karen is surrounded by her family, her friends, her loved ones. It also seems like the way the trailer was for Potomac, that potentially they're setting it up for Karen to come back, because at the beginning you see Giselle kind of like writing a note to Karen, letting her know everything that's going on throughout the season and basically saying she needs some help to round these bitches up. And I think it leaves for a phenomenal ending, because I'm pretty sure the season has filmed. They could easily put a camera on Karen, if she wants, of course, and bring her back into the folds of the Real Housewives of Potomac world. And I think that it's only fair. I mean, I do not condone drunk driving under any type of influence, anything like that. But I'm only saying that I feel like Karen should be able to go back is because Teresa went back after her criminal affairs and serving her time. They probably plan to bring Jen Shaw back after her criminal affairs. So if you're bringing ladies who have already been in jail back and allowing them a chance to share their story on this platform that is Bravo and Real Housewives, I only think it's fair that Karen is allowed to do the same. And I think that's what we're going to get, especially given, like I said, how they had Giselle kind of talking to Karen and writing the letter in the trailer. And how could I forget also Luann and her criminal affairs that had to do with drinking? Didn't she like hit a cop or something? There's body cam footage and everything. And then Shannon Medora, of course, who clipped a house in her drunk driving. And both ladies were able to return to their franchises. So if anything is done differently with Karen, I will indeed feel a type of way, just because it wouldn't be fair at all. It just wouldn't be fair. If you're going to allow ladies to do criminal acts and then bring them back, it needs to be across the board with everybody. And especially, it's had to do with drinking with at least Luann and Shannon, and obviously the Grand Dame, and they all pretty much have had body cam footage. So they're around the same type of criminal activity. So I, for one, am looking forward to seeing Karen come back and share her story and let us know what she's learned since being locked up. I know for damn sure, because I don't think she can drive for at least a year, but I know for damn sure, I would hope so, that she will never do some shit like this again and drive under any type of influence. Really, she just needs to have a driver in general. Just have a driver, take Ubers, do what you need to do, Karen, to stay out of this ish. Like, I know this was hella embarrassing to have all the ladies, especially for your franchise that you don't really get along with, and then people in general, your kids and your other family members, to see that body cam footage, oh my goodness, it was so bad. I just hope she's learned her lesson. And at her big age, I would hope that she has. I'm Karen. I want to say that Karen is smart, but given the fact that she had an option to either have house arrest or go to jail, and she chose to go through with this trial, I'm a little iffy on some of the guidance that she's getting. So I'm just hoping that she does right this time around, because she did not have to go to jail, especially if she was offered to be sitting at home on house arrest versus sitting in a cell. Whoever in her legal team who said, yeah, let's go forward with this trial. What the fuck? I hope she gets a refund. But then again, if it was Karen who made that decision against her legal guidance, then, that's on her. So there's that with Karen. You could see her leaving out, smiling, waving, and on to her next chapter. So happy for her. Okay, and to kind of close up, I'm hoping, this Tamar and Funky Dineva beef. Man, okay. So on Friday, I believe it was, Tamar decided to get on TikTok live. Oh, gosh. And seemingly it looked like she was barefaced. Might have looked like she had some type of filter over, but you could see where her facial, like below her nose and going into her mouth, it does look different. It definitely does look different. And I didn't see any bruising. I didn't really see any marks or scratches or anything like that. She was putting on makeup in this live, but you could see that something definitely looks different about her face. Now, we were told that she fractured her nose, she had loss of mobility, she lost 4 of her front teeth, and woke up in a pool of her own blood. Given all of that, I will say Tamar looks pretty damn good. Does she look different? Yes, but she looks good. I know when I had my wisdom teeth taken out on both sides, my face was swole up so bad, just having like teeth removed surgically, okay? So for something to have happened that traumatic, and from the pictures that we saw that she released with that doctor, I guess from Miami, that helped her out, I'm just so shocked that she doesn't look a lot worse, but Tamar does have some money, so I know money helps with a lot. So that's neither here nor there. But she goes on to say that essentially she didn't lie about anything. She was actually in the hospital for about 5 days. You can call up to the hospital, which is like, Tamar, people can't call up to the hospital and ask if you were there. That's completely against HIPAA. But she says, call up there, they'll tell you. No, they won't. But she claims she was in the hospital for 5 days, and that she can't eat, and that as for Funky Dineva, it's very clear to her and him that they are no longer friends, and she claims that she paid for Funky's party. Now, when I looked at Funky's page, he said that she paid for like the sparklers and like the signage and shit like that. But it's not like she paid for a whole party and like decorations and like booking the room and this and another. It seems like she like paid for like the sparklers and the signs and maybe like a bottle or two. So when she said that in her live, I was like, oh damn, Funky, like she paid for your birthday, but you're like not really good friends with her. At the end of the day, there's 3 sides: Tamar's side, Funky's side, and the truth. And I think that we're getting what truly went down that night. I have a feeling we won't ever really know, but it's clear that Tamar was scared and she was bothered. She took to social media, because honestly we wouldn't have known anything about this if Tamar had not gone to social media. She says that it was not just for promo for her new album, which apparently she's no longer putting out, which to me doesn't make sense. If you self-produced and self-funded a project or an album, obviously not cheap, why would you scrap the whole thing just because of some bullshit, this petty shit? Like, that doesn't make sense to me. The work is still there. The work will speak for itself if it's quality. If it's a quality body of art, people are still going to accept it regardless of all this drama that you've created around it. And then she says, you know, you guys have won. I'm done. I'm going to go away and go off into my farm. Yeah, Tamar is right back on social media. She could not stay away. However, she could be on her farm for all we know. And I'm like, what farm, Tamar? I had no clue she had a farm, but apparently she has a farm somewhere. But I think that's a good idea for her. She should get away. Get away from Atlanta, get away from LA, go to your farm and wherever the fuck, and sit there and heal and write. Heal, write music, make music with your people, and heal, Tamar, away from all of the foolishness. I think that's a wonderful idea. If that's what you have, like you have a farm to go to get away from the madness. I wish I had that. That is a luxury. And I think that Tamar really needs to have a come to Jesus moment, because no one can deny her voice. No one can deny her talent. It's just the bullshit that she feels like has to go along with it, because she's needing some type of attention, whether it's negative or positive. It seems like she's just needing attention. And it's also interesting that her family hasn't really commented. Her sisters haven't commented on, you know, her incident, her being almost not here with us on this earth. I mean, that's a big fucking deal. But her mom hasn't said anything either. Evelyn, it's weird. We know this family has strained relationships anyway, there's a lot of tension. And it does seem like the sisters are also in a situation where they don't always believe Tamar and what she has going on. Because I remember on one of the earlier seasons of Braxton's Family Values, they went to go sit with TD Jakes. And they were talking everything, and Tamar breaks down and she's like crying and she's upset, and like you could see all the sisters looking at her like, this bitch, like none of them are affected at all. And then TD Jakes actually asked them, like, do you believe her? Like like, do you believe what Tamar is saying? And none of them believed Tamar at all, even though she's seemingly like bawling. But Tamar will do this thing where like she's like crying, she's making the noises and the expressions and all of that, but there's nothing coming out of her eyes. I've seen that on the occasion with the TD Jakes, where she was sobbing, but I didn't really see anything coming out of her eyes. I saw it on the TikTok live where she was like sniffing and stuff, but I didn't really see tears. And then I also remember seeing it when I watched back the Braxtons, when their dad brought Miss Wanda, who is like his wife now, to meet all of the sisters, and they were talking about why the dad didn't go to Trina's wedding. And basically he was like, I have to put my foot down because y'all aren't going to tell me what to do. You made an ultimatum of either come, but I can't bring Wanda, so I decided not to come. And then Tamar took away the moment from Trina, which was Trina's actual wedding that he missed, and she's like breaking down and hyperventilating and making the motions of crying, but there's no tears coming down her face at all. Her face is dry. So Tamar is very dramatic, and while it is entertaining, it really, for her, I feel like she's going to have trouble going forward on people believing her, because there have been instances where she's made big deals out of shit, and it's like, for what, Tamar? For what? So hopefully both parties, Tamar and Funky, will just leave each other alone, stop talking about each other. Might be weird because they, you know, both live in Atlanta and they probably hang out along in the same circles, and then when they see each other, this be fucking awkward, but they need to just leave each other alone. And maybe one day down the line, they can have a heart to heart. But right now, I feel like too much has been said by both parties, and it just needs to be deaded. So that's the end of that. I hope that you guys have had a great day wherever you are, had a great Labor Day weekend. It was so rough getting online this morning. Ugh, gosh. But I did it. Half the day is almost done. I will see you guys in another video.